Welcome, crypto fam, to No One Daily Bitcoin Pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest technical analysis. Also, Senator Lummis is quoted saying, "The strategic Bitcoin reserve is the only tool I see that can help people in my generation right the wrongs that we did to the younger generations and generations to follow with respect to our debt and fiscal mismanagement." And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser, "Bitcoin is on its own unstoppable vector. It is self-aware and was sent by God to unfuck our money. Bitcoin country is a self-sovereign state of mind." Preach. We'll also be discussing stablecoin market cap surpasses 200 billion as USDC dominance rises, but there's only one king of the stablecoins. That's USDT Tether. Just saying. We'll also be discussing network states will one day compete with the nation states, according to this Web3 executive. They also say the United States is following the El Salvador playbook, Bitcoin country, Bukelenomics. We'll also be discussing analyst says Bitcoin long-term hodlers are 70% done offloading the crypto asset, outlining the Bitcoin path to 175 G's, baby. We'll also be discussing a very bullish target from the former Binance CEO CZ, projecting Bitcoin reaching 10 million. And to back it up, I got some bonus Michael Saylor $10 million price predictions to go along with it. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. Today is pod episode number 1893. I'm your host, JV. It's another Sat Stackin' Saturday, February 1st, 2025. And we had a nice monthly close for the first time above $100,000. In fact, we closed above 102. Definitely a bullish indicator, not too far away from price discovery, which is currently sitting at 109.3. But without further ado, if you're new to the channel, important to smash the likes. Go ahead, subscribe, then hit the bell icon to turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. But let's kick it off with our market watch. As we do each and every day, you should be able to see Coin 360 pulled up on your screen. No, I do not want to try the new beta. I hate when websites offer, you want to see the new design? 9 out of 10 times, I do not. And it usually sucks. And I'm so used to what I'm accustomed to, I don't want to ever change it. So if you don't know, now you know Coin 360. But let me know, fam, if you guys can see my screen right now. We have everything ultimately correcting and in the red, but barely pulling back. Bitcoin maintaining above 1014 at the time of the live stream. We have Ether down 4%, XRP down 3%, back under $3. And as I mentioned, the majority of the market correcting. Checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at $3.44 trillion. The Bitcoin market cap back on top, above $2 trillion. And we have roughly 90 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours. And the Bitcoin dominance, which has been on the climb, is currently 58.3%, with the Ether dominance at 11.1%. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. Womp womp, nothing. Everything is correcting and in the red. I mean, stable coins don't count. We can't count that if they're up 0.0001 of a fraction of a penny. Who cares? But nonetheless, checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. So you can see overall virtually everything in the red today, unfortunately. Zooming out for the monthly, very similar story, maybe 10 out of 100 coins even in the green. And checking out the infamous crypto greed and fear index. Today we're back down to a 68 greed. Yesterday we entered extreme greed, had a correction here today. Yesterday was 76, last week was 75, and last month was 70. And checking out the time chain calendar, you can see there's 168,174 blocks to the next halving. We're currently on block number 881,826, and you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 987 sats. So stack the sats, put down the gats, and pick up some Bitcoin caps from my boy Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. The one and only, the greatest caps in the entire planet, the best quality, the greatest embroidery, you know what I mean, and the greatest service and the greatest individual. He's Salvadoran. I mean, hook it up. Order a dozen. This is my favorite cap I'm actually rocking today. This is the one I rocked at the Max and Stacy Invitational, and they are available on the website at a great price. highly recommend it if you like the camo design. And of course, we got some custom crypto news alerts, caps, which may or may not be given away as gifts at the party. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but use your imagination and shit out, Sergio. We greatly appreciate you, broski. Let's do today's technical analysis, aka astrology for the broskies. Let's start with Plan B's recent tweet. Bitcoin January closing price 102,412. New monthly close all-time high. And the first monthly close of all time above $100,000. Just in time for the 100K Fiesta in 7 days. Being hosted here in Puerto Rico. Oceanfront Biddy vibes. I'm looking forward to meeting the fam here. But yeah, very exciting times. But let's get into the TA, and I'll pull up some of the live charts here in a sec. Bitcoin has made history after Bitcoin achieved its first 6-digit monthly close of all time. And we were like at 105, 106, floating in between. But then we started dipping right before the close, but we maintained 102, so I cannot complain. TradingView confirmed that Jan 31st, Bitcoin closed its latest monthly candle at 102.4, according to Bitstamp. The move came despite the last-minute Bitcoin price drop due to the macroeconomic volatility that gave the bulls their first close above 100 G's, baby. Risk assets tumbled during the Wall Street trading session after the U.S. President Trump confirmed that the tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China would come into existence today, February 1st. Take that, China. And after initially rising, the U.S. stocks ended the day down while sentiment suffered per data from the traditional and crypto-based Crypto Greed and Fear Index, which I just shared with you, down on the day. Now, every 1% correction, panic, and crash forecast is not characteristics of a market top. In my opinion, according to Askell Kabar, he says a market top is accompanied by euphoria, disbelief, and even a short-term correction. The analyst and entrepreneur Macau Van Day Pop, another analyst, equally confident in the longer-term picture, quoting him here. I shouldn't worry about this news. Ultimately, it will lead to the higher crypto prices anyways. Precisely. And I already shared with you Plan B's post confirming the 102,412 new highest close for the month we have ever had since the inception of the Genesis block. And in the headlines, I also want to share with you here, you should be able to see, quoting Cynthia Lummis, the strategic Bitcoin reserve is the only tool I see that can help people in my generation right the wrongs that we did to the younger generations and generations to follow with respect to our debt and fiscal mismanagement. Ultimately saying they done fucked us over. The only way to right your wrongs is adopt the Bitcoin strategic reserve. So Trump, if you're listening, you know the right thing to do. It's all on you, brother. No pressure, just saying. And quoting the high priest of the Biddy, Max Kaiser. Self-custody Bitcoin. Also, multi-sig is a viable option. I like Casa Bitcoin and Unchained and Chill. Bitcoin is on its own unstoppable vector. It is self-aware and was sent by God to unfuck our money. Bitcoin country is a self-sovereign state of mind. The high priest has spoken, the bishop of Bitcoin. He also says the Bitcoin dream. We're all sovereign individuals. Bitcoin country is a self-sovereign state of mind, and anyone can live there. Bitcoin is God. Amen. And yeah, very powerful words right there. I'm going to be pulling up some of the live charts, and we'll do a quick little TA session for the broskies as we do each and every day. And let me know if you guys agree with Cynthia Lummis, Max Kaiser, and some of the latest TA. And where do you think the Bitcoin price action, the Biddy, is likely to take us next? Holla at your boy. Don't be a stranger. And you should be able to see some of the live charts now on your screen. This is the 1 hour. We do have a rising wedge formation, a blue target, very bullish, sitting above 126 G's. When do you think we hit 126? Holla. And zooming out from the 1 hour, check out the 4 hour. Do we still have the 130,000 target in play? Abso-freaking-lutely. Sitting in the orange. Angels in the orange. Where you at? 130 G's in play. The $1 million question, when? Which day? Holla. Let me know. I'll read those comments out loud. And checking out the 1 day. Rising wedgie, the only wedgie I approve of. And zooming out, as you can see, we are having a corrective candle on the day. But nonetheless, checking out for the weekly candle, we still have the sexy cup and handle target. We're sitting pretty right there. We do have a little itty bitty red candle close, which we had. Or actually, I'm sorry, I apologize. Tomorrow's the close for the week. We just had the close for the month. Can't get that confused. But you can see the bullish momentum since Trump's inauguration. That was, what, Jan 20th? We've been pumping. In fact, actually, since the news of Trump winning is when we actually began this big ascension up north to all-time highs, and it was on inauguration day we hit the current all-time high, which is where price discovery is sitting at 109.3. And checking out the monthly survey says it's going up forever, Laura. And as you can see, we're forming another green candle here. I should say we had a green candle close for the month of January, is that itty bitty green. And it only looks itty bitty because in November we had the biggest green candle we've ever had. And in between is the itty bitty red corrective. And shout out to the bitty kitty over there in Arkansas. Showed the bitty kitty some love. And let me know where you feel the price action will likely take us next, and I'll read your comments out loud. And welcome everyone to the live stream. So headline here reads, stablecoin market cap surpasses 200 billion. Not a fan of USDC. Obviously, I'm a USDT guy. I believe USDC is the chosen stablecoin of the motherfucking establishment, which I don't support. I support Tether USDT, as all the true Bitcoin OGs do, and I just like to make that loud and clear. Roger that. The stablecoin market cap reached a record high following the period of consistent growth since mid-2023, according to the Alfractal. The data analysis platform reported Jan 31st that the stablecoin market cap rose 73% from 121 billion in August 2023 to reach an all-time high of 211 billion, while USDC has been gaining an edge over the other stablecoins. Well, there's a shit ton of other stablecoins outside of Tether USDT, but I will say Tether USDT is the king, just as Bitcoin is the king. And for those that don't know, over in Bitcoin country, El Salvador, Bitcoin is a legal tender, meaning it's a currency, and Tether is a registered security, and any other cryptocurrency or stablecoin being promoted in El Salvador is considered an unregistered security and is illegal and will get your ass kicked out of Bitcoin country. And if you don't know, now you know. Now, analyzing the market cap of the other stables, excluding Tether USDT and USDC, the data reveals relatively average growth since 2024, suggesting USDT and USDC remain the two most preferred stablecoins of the crypto market. Well, they have the largest market cap, so that's a given. The rest of the market has not grown significantly since 2023, maintaining stable average values. USDT, a large stablecoin by market cap, recorded the all-time high market cap of 140 billion December of 2023. Its market cap is now 139 billion January 31st, with a market dominance of 63.8%. So the majority of the stable market is coming from Tether USDT, as USDC continues to gain momentum. You guys let me know, which one do you prefer? What's your stable of choice? But nonetheless, let me know your stablecoin of choice. A lot of people like to use stablecoins in crypto to avoid like capital gains taxes and things of that. Headline reads, network states will one day compete with nation states. Well, according to the Web3 executive, and I know nothing about this guy, but here's the deal. Dr. Corey Petty. Sounds petty to me. The chief inside officer of Logos, an initiative focused on developing decentralized peer-to-peer infrastructure for the network state, shared that network states will one day rival established countries and governance structures. I never even heard of a network state, so that's why it's interesting to me. Let's find out what this means. According to Petty, and I ain't talking Tom Petty, a blockchain technology provides individuals with three necessary components to establish self-sovereign communities in cyberspace, which include trustless ownership, enforceable legal structures, and decentralized communication. The executive added that the non-locality of the network states gives the anti-fragile properties an edge over the traditional nations, like a double-edged sword. Quoting him here, because they're firmly seated in cyberspace, in the digital realm, they're not necessarily subject to a lot of the burdens that a physical nation state has, like protecting its boundaries with the military, so it can achieve a level of economic power on a global scale. So if I understand this right, it's like a virtual nation. Am I understanding this right, family? Petty's ideas build on the earlier concepts introduced by John Barlow's Declaration of Independence in Cyberspace, an essay on the internet freedom, and venture capitalist Balaji's network state, exploring novel forms of societal organization. Next level shit. Balaji, a former Coinbase executive, published The Network State, How to Start a New Country in 2022, which outlined how people can create decentralized countries. Let's start with the Bitcoin Citadel. Let's go. At the heart of Balaji's idea to mutable code through public permissionless blockchains provide the guardrails for the finance, governance, and even direct on-chain voting in elections. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik is also a vocal proponent of decentralized states and experimented with a pop city called Zazalu in 2023. You guys ever notice anything regarding Vitalik or Ethereum has the most unusual motherfucking names you've ever heard? The experiment lasted for approximately 3 months and included 200 individuals gathered in Montenegro. Something that rhymes with egg roll. And following the conclusion of the experiment, Buterin said that issues related to governance still have to be solved before the network stays survival. The question is, will the government, the lizard folk, would they allow this? I don't know. You guys let me know. Futurists also propose seasteading, whatever that means, creating self-governing, self-sovereign floating installations in an ocean that uses blockchain for governance. Again, whatever that means, I don't even fucking know. However, there are currently no permanent seasteads. Proponents of the idea must overcome the technical challenges of using blockchain to run a society and the geopolitical pushback from the established countries. Precisely. Like, will the forces of evil allow a self-governing cyber country? That's my question for you guys. Let me know, and I'm going to read your comments out loud. Welcome, everyone, to the live stream. Let's keep it moving, shall we? The United States is following El Salvador's playbook, according to this Web3 executive. Another Web3 executive. How many are there? The United States is currently following the footsteps of El Salvador, according to Michelle Crivelli, founder of NextBridge, digital asset firm specializing in real-world asset tokenization. She stressed that the importance of an independent regulatory body for crypto regulation and said the U.S. was taking the right steps with the newly commissioned working group on digital asset markets. Quoting her here, the U.S. is doing something that El Salvador did in 2021. They created a special commission to study how to implement a legal framework for crypto, like El Salvador did with the National Commission of Digital Assets. The NextBridge founder added that the smaller nations with less to lose, like El Salvador, will be the pioneers in which they are. First movers advantage. Respect to Bukele-nomics. Let's get it. Of global digital asset adoption, eventually drawing in the larger players like the United States of America. Once the trend come to the digital economy become too hard to ignore, asset management dude, the one and only Pompliano, voiced the same argument in November and specifically cited El Salvador and Bhutan's gradual accumulation of the biddy as a signal of the global race for the biddy, as well as underway. And here you see Trump signing those executive orders, family. One of those executive orders was a ban of the CBDCs, central bank digital currency. El Salvador officially repealed its Bitcoin legal tender law and part of a loan agreement. That's FUD, and I have to address this because it's such bullshit. And every single time El Salvador is mentioned in the news, not every single time, but like 9 out of 10 times, it's just FUD. They didn't change anything. It was always voluntary for businesses to accept Bitcoin. They were never forced to. And I know because I just got back from El Salvador, and I know from firsthand experience because I paid for my pupusas using the Bitcoin Lightning Network, and some businesses don't accept it. Others do. It's completely up to them what they choose to do. So every time we hear these headlines about El Salvador, it's just completely bullshit. They said they take this loan and Bukele is going to push back Bitcoin adoption. Bullshit. They've been purchasing more Bitcoin since they took the loan from the IMF. And they've always had the opportunity to, choose if they wanted to use Bitcoin. No one was ever forced to only use Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a legal tender. It's a currency, yes, but so is the US dollar. And I know because I have firsthand experience being there. So I just want to throw that FUD out the window. But they are stacking sats, which is a beautiful thing. And they're continuing to accumulate. And I just want to say this. Fuck the IMF. The country recently acquired an additional 12 BTC valued at over 1.2 million. And they're just north of 6,051. Bitcoin. Also, stablecoin issuer Tether recently announced relocating its headquarters to El Salvador. That's a blackjack. That's a victory. Due to the country's favorable regulatory environment. And did you know, where I was staying at the, where was I at? The Sheraton El Presidente in the El Presidente district. That's where the Google fucking headquarters is as well. Massive Google building. A lot of companies are opening up shop in El Salvador because it's growing. It's Bitcoin nation. It has the lowest homicide rate of all the countries I've ever seen in the world. I don't think just in the Americas now, but around the world. Less than one homicide thus far this year is unheard of. You can't say that in Chicago. You can't say that anywhere in the United States. So respect what Bukele is doing. Shout out to all the Salvadorans holding it down. They showed us so much love out there. There is only one Bitcoin country. There's only one Bukele, and there'll only ever be. United States will never be El Salvador. You can't compare the two. It's like comparing apples and oranges. I just want to throw that out there. Headline here reads, analyst says Bitcoin long-term hodlers are 70% done offloading the crypto asset outlined in the Bitcoin path to 175 Gs. I see a spaceship You see that spaceship? Are the aliens out to get our biddy? A closely followed crypto analyst says long-term hodlers are nearly done selling off the biddy, setting up for a series of rallies and a new update. Invest Answers. Shout out Invest Answers. He's one of the good guys in the space. I like him. 560,000 YouTube subs he shared with. Bitcoin could potentially increase more than 66% from the current value as those who have held their biddy for 155 days or longer are about 70% done selling. Amid the decline of the selling pressure, he says that if Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy and the spot Bitcoin ETF purchased an additional 82 million worth of the biddy, combined with Bitcoin, we get 175 G's per biddy. The question I had is, what would it take? How much money would it take to get to 175,000? Well, if Saylor spends another 40 billion and the ETF spent another 40 billion, call it 82 billion, the increase in Bitcoin's market cap will be based on the multiplier, 1.34 trillion, which would take the total Bitcoin market cap to 3.44 trillion, which divided by 19.7 million Bitcoin would be 175,000 per coin. Got the math? I still do believe that the American ETFs will do at least 40 billion, and I think Saylor will do at least 40 billion. So that is a coming, and those are conservative numbers. Just these two players alone, if they continue to do what they did last year, and the selling is at the same level of the selling we have right now, which I don't think they'll repeat, it'll be less because they're 70% done. I think it theoretically possible get to 175 G's per biddy. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Invest Answers, and shout out to the man. Now for our feature story of the day, former Binance CEO CZ suggests Bitcoin might end up reaching $10 million per coin. We will be discussing this, and I have some bonus predictions from the Giga Chat himself, Mikey Saylor, and also some bonuses here from Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model. He recently just tweeted here, you should be able to see on your screen, my dream scenario of monthly closes towards stock to flow target of $500,000 average in 2024 to 2028. Of course, not 100% correct, although markets decided against a playful December to February pump and dump. February, 150,000 still in play. So you heard it first and foremost, 150 G's for this month of February. Send it, let's get it. And he's referring to some of the, predictions that he made. And if you're not familiar with stock to flow, it ultimately projects Bitcoin ranging from 250,000 to 1 million per coin between now and the next halving of 2028, with an average of $500,000 per coin. And as you know, and as I shared earlier, Bitcoin just had the highest monthly close since the inception of the Genesis block at $102,400. It was our very first time closing above 100 G's, which is pretty exciting. Now, CZ obviously is no stranger to the industry. There's an article here that says former Binance boss CZ suggests Bitcoin might end up reaching $1 million. And then I'm going to share with you a throwback of him projecting Bitcoin could reach $10 million. And then as a bitty bonus, the Giga Chad, why he believes Bitcoin's going to 10 million per coin. So this is going to be quite exciting. But let's first start with the most recent from CZ. This actually all stems from a tweet thread. CZ wrote, imagine being the last government to buy. Please don't let that be the United States. Please, Trump, please don't let that be the United States. And that was off the back of this tweet. Czech National Bank governor will present a plan to buy Bitcoin tomorrow. The plan got approved, but just to keep it 100, the plan is to entertain buying Bitcoin. That plan got approved. Their goal, the governor of the Central Bank of the Czech Republic is proposing a proposal to purchase 7.3 or 7.2 or 7.3 billion dollars worth of Bitcoin. The race to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible has began, and I covered this in the pod this week. This was pretty big news, so I'm not going to focus here, but I just wanted to touch upon it. And then someone asked, 1 million for one Bitcoin, laughing out loud as if it's never going to happen. Crazy, right? Maybe he's trying to say we should be 10 million. I don't know, but it's ironic. And they CZ responded, if they are lucky, depending upon how much other countries print money to buy Bitcoin before them. So ultimately saying you may not even be able to buy $7 billion worth of Bitcoin. There's very limited amount even available on the exchanges right now, if you feel what I'm saying. And I also want to throw this throwback, because this is actually a couple of years back, this throwback. And to me, I like it because it was also featured on Binance, which we know is the largest Bitcoin or crypto exchange in the world. And they reference a YouTube influencer. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy. His name is JV. I mean, who uses their own initials? What a weirdo. But this guy, JV, recalls a CZ prediction that Bitcoin would reach $10 million. And they keep repeating this influencer name, JV, like every sentence, JV. So it kind of got my interest, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to read this to you. And of course, this was on multiple sources, but it said, I'm just going to read it to you. JV, a crypto YouTube influencer, remembered CZ's prediction that Bitcoin would reach 10 million per coin. JV referred to the statement in a recent video uploaded on YouTube where he analyzed various aspects of the Bitcoin market development. Whoever this JV guy is kind of seems like a big deal, doesn't he? JV looked back at CZ's Bitcoin prediction. JV and CZ. Bitcoin's prediction while analyzing the Binance CEO's recent Twitter comments. This was actually after CZ had a Q&A session, and I was actually attentively taking notes. And I broke the news of the 10 million prediction before any article source was to share it. And that's why I got all the credit. And that's the beauty when you're in the trenches, just FYI. Including Binance's reaction to the ongoing regulatory scrutiny. He also spoke about the rise in interest in the institutional investment. Yeah, this was before the BlackRock ETF. This is when they first made the proposals. This is like going back. CZ made the 10 million Bitcoin prediction back in 2021, following MicroStrategy's announcement of allocating the Bitcoin for the corporate strategy. CZ bases analysis on the possibility of several corporate companies across the world allocating only 1% of their corporate treasury to Bitcoin, which is extremely conservative, especially how far we've come since then, right? So according to CZ, that can lead to 1,000x growth. And just for some perspective, 1,000x from like today's price of 100,000, correct me if I'm wrong, I think 10x is obviously 1 million. So is 100x, I'm trying to do the math in my head. I'm not so great at it, but I think 100x would be 10 million. And is 1,000x 100 million? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just assuming, again, I don't have a calculator in front of me, so let me know and I'll read those comments here shortly. But it's a very advantageous prediction to go 1,000x from here, because I personally feel in my lifetime will 100x Bitcoin. I genuinely believe that. 1,000x, we're going up forever, Laura. JV, whoever this crazy kid is, highlighted CZ's welcome approach to institutional investment in the Bitcoin ecosystem. CZ noted the advantages of traditional finance. Yep. And according to JV, whoever this weirdo is, CZ identified the key factors driving the Binance strategy for the next 18. CZ, if you're listening right now, let's link up and get an exclusive interview for my audience. If you're a fan of JV, I mean, I'm a fan of CZ. I've been promoting you and standing by your side for a long time. I know the bullshit you went through with the Department of Justice and the shakedown of $4.3 billion, pretty fucked up. I've had your back the entire time, brother. Just saying. They include the upcoming Bitcoin halving event and the growing interest in the institutional investment for the crypto industry. You noted both factors would lead to Binance bracing for the higher volumes. But there you have it. I mean, CZ did note that he believes Bitcoin would 1,000x from that time. And from whenever the Bitcoin price was in 2021, clearly it wasn't 100,000. We just hit that more recently. But very advantageous price projection. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And as a bonus, I want to read you the GigaChad's projection. Saylor in an interview, and this is one of my favorite quotes, by the way, Bitcoin offers economic immortality and will reach 10 million per Bitcoin. How cool is that? Economic immortality. Humans have been searching for immortality for ages, and to have economic immortality, priceless. That's all I got to say. And I'm going to get a little deeper. And this is according to Michael Saylor from an interview that is a throwback as well. Because Bitcoin is just pure money, it's just as effective at 100,000 a coin as it is 10,000 a coin. At $1 million a coin, it's just as effective. At 10 million a coin, is probably more compelling of 10 million a coin than $1 million or 100,000 a coin. It's kind of universally scalable asset that gets less risky. The only thing that's going to change, in my opinion, is when it was super risky and scary below 10,000, you were getting 100 to 200% a year annualized gains, and then it got a bit more understandable. Get it? He noticed bit more, bitty. Between 10,000 and 100,000, your gains of 40, 50% a year, and then at some point, you go to 30%, 20%, extreme. If everybody in the world understood Bitcoin, it'd already be 20, 30, 40% of the wealth of the world, and I genuinely believe that. It would be 200 to 300 trillion in today's dollars. That was ultimately, when he made this prediction, the total addressable market, and today, the total addressable market is probably 700, 800, 900 trillion, just saying. And then the price would be appreciating at the rate of the global inflation of the fiat currency. policy. So the gold inflation remains 7. You hear that, Peter Schiffmeister? Still remain a 7, and then would appreciate a little bit more for the little bitty. And because of the productivity of the people to adopt the Treasury Reserve asset, and you already know the Treasury Reserve, Bitcoin for the Treasury. RFK Jr. proposed $1 million Bitcoin purchase over the course of 5 years and purchasing 400 of the bitty per day. What are your thoughts? What do you think? 10 million per Bitcoin? Is that child's play? Is that unrealistic? Is it inevitable? Is Bitcoin truly economic immortality, as Saylor projects? Let me know your thoughts, bitty broskies and bitty baddies, and welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. We're live and in the flesh. We're still live on X. We're still live on Rumble. We're still live on YouTube. We have 1,600 folks. We're about to gift 10 memberships. Are you guys ready? Let me know if you're ready, and we'll give some motherfucking memberships.